If you're over 60, and by the time evening rolls around, your ankles are puffy, your socks have left deep rings in your skin, and your legs feel heavy and tired, I want you to pay close attention because that swelling isn't random and it isn't nothing. It's your body quietly telling you something. Most people assume swollen legs at the end of the day are just part of getting older, something to prop up on a pillow and forget about. And sometimes that's all it is. But other times, that evening swelling is an early signal worth understanding because what's behind it can range from completely harmless to something your doctor would really want to know about. Here at Built After 50, we went through the research on circulation, fluid, and aging. And today, I'm going to walk you through the real reasons your legs swell as the day goes on, why it's so often worst at night, and how to tell the harmless kind from the kind that deserves attention. And stay with me until the end, because there's one quick test you can do with a single finger, right there on your own leg, that reveals a great deal about what kind of swelling you're actually dealing with. Let me give you the picture first, because it explains nearly everything that follows. Your body is full of fluid, and that fluid is always on the move, in and out of your blood vessels and the tissues around them. Think of it like water in a tall building. As long as the pumps are working and the drains are clear, the water keeps circulating and nothing pools. But here's the catch with your legs. They are the basement of the building. They sit at the very bottom, and gravity is pulling fluid down into them all day long, every hour you're upright. So, what keeps that fluid from simply collecting down there? Two things, mainly. The valves inside your leg veins, which act like one-way gates, pushing blood and fluid back up toward the heart, and the muscles in your calves, which squeeze those veins every time you take a step, working like a second pump. Doctors call the buildup of fluid edema, which simply means swelling from trapped fluid. Now you can see why it's so often worst at night. You've been upright, and gravity has been winning all day, so by evening, the fluid has had hours to settle down into your ankles and lower legs. Then you lie down to sleep, and much of it drains away by morning. That daily rhythm, puffy by night and better by morning, is a big clue all by itself. So let's go through what's driving it. Real quick, if this is making sense so far, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this video reach more adults over 60 who deal with this every evening. And as you watch, notice which of these reasons might fit your situation. We'll come back to it at the end. All right, let's get into it. The first reason is the most common one, and it's weak vein valves. We'll call this the leaky gates. Remember those one-way gates inside your leg veins? Over the years, they can weaken and stop closing properly. When that happens, blood doesn't climb back up to the heart as it should. Instead, it slides backward and pools in the lower legs, and fluid seeps out into the surrounding tissue. In plain terms, the gates that are supposed to hold the water up high are leaking, so it settles at the bottom. Here's the telltale pattern. This kind of swelling usually builds through the day, often affects both legs, and improves overnight when you're lying flat. It's common, it's manageable, and it's worth describing to your doctor. Now, the second reason is one you may be doing right now without realizing it, and that's sitting or standing still for too long. We'll call this the idle pump. Remember, your calf muscles are a pump. They only squeeze fluid upward when you move. So when you sit for hours at a desk, in a car, on a long flight, or stand in one spot all day, that pump goes quiet and fluid simply settles. In plain terms, a still calf is a pump that's switched off. Here's where people get it backwards. They think rest is always the answer to tired, swollen legs. But often the legs are swollen precisely because they haven't moved. A short walk every hour can do more than an evening with your feet up. Stay with me, because the third reason is the most important one to understand, and it points to the heart. We'll call this the tired pump. If your heart isn't pumping as efficiently as it once did, fluid can back up and collect in the legs. In plain terms, when the main pump slows, the pressure backs up downstream, and the basement floods. Now, here's what I want you to watch for, because this is the part that matters most. If your leg swelling comes along with shortness of breath, unusual fatigue, swelling that creeps up beyond the ankles, or trouble breathing when you lie flat, That combination is one to take to your doctor promptly, not someday. Swelling on its own is often minor. Swelling with breathlessness is a conversation to have soon. The fourth reason works quietly in the background, and that's your kidneys and salt balance. We'll call this the filter. Your kidneys are constantly deciding how much fluid and salt to keep and how much to send away. As we age, or if the kidneys aren't working at full strength, the body can hold on to more fluid than it needs, and that extra fluid has to go somewhere. Gravity sends it to the legs. In plain terms, when the filter holds back too much water, the basement fills faster. This is another reason a simple set of tests at your doctor's office can be so useful, because it looks at the whole system, not just the legs. Now, here's one most people never suspect. The fifth reason, and that's certain medications. Some common medicines, including a few used for blood pressure, can cause ankle and leg swelling as a side effect. In plain terms, a medicine doing its job in one area may be nudging fluid into your legs. But here is the most important rule in this whole video. Never stop or change a medication on your own. If you noticed your swelling started or worsened after a new prescription, simply write down when it began and tell your doctor. There are usually options, and that's a decision the two of you make together. And finally, the sixth reason, the everyday one that ties many of the others together. Too much salt and too little movement. Salt makes your body hold on to water, and a quiet, mostly seated day lets that water pool. In plain terms, salty food plus a still body is a recipe for puffy ankles by evening. The good news is that this is the most within your control of all of them, and small changes here often make a visible difference within days. So let's bring it all together. Evening leg swelling can come from leaky vein gates, an idle calf pump, a tired heart, a fluid-holding filter, a medication side effect, or simply too much salt and too little movement. 6 real reasons, and your body is using that puffiness to point at one or more of them. Now, here's the one-finger test I promised you. Find a spot where the swelling sits over a bone, like the front of your shin or just above your ankle. Press your thumb firmly into it for about 5 seconds, then lift it away and look. If the skin springs right back, that's one kind of swelling. If your thumb leaves a little dent, a dimple that slowly fills back in, that's what doctors call pitting, and it's worth describing to them because the pattern helps point to the cause. But here's the part I most need you to remember. Gradual swelling in both legs that gets better overnight is usually the slow, manageable kind. But sudden swelling in just one leg, especially with pain, warmth, or redness, can signal a blood clot, and that is not something to wait on. That deserves prompt medical attention the same day. And swelling that comes with breathlessness deserves urgent care. For the everyday kind, the habits that help most are simple. Move your calves often, even just standing and walking for a minute every hour. Elevate your legs above the level of your heart for a little while in the evening. Go easy on salty foods, and ask your doctor whether compression stockings make sense for you, rather than buying them blindly. Simple and consistent, every time. Now I want to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, what time of day do your legs swell the most? And is it one leg or both? Be honest, because your answer might be exactly the detail that helps someone else reading recognize their own situation. We read every comment here at Build After 50, and your questions often become our next videos. So don't be shy. Tell me what you're noticing. And before you go, if this helped you, the next video you should watch is right here. It's our breakdown of the 7 warning signs that your leg circulation may be getting worse, which connects directly to that leaky gates reason we talked about. It's the perfect next step. If you're new here, Build After 50 publishes new research-based health videos every week, made specifically for adults over 50 who want to stay strong, mobile, and independent for the long run. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so the next one finds you. And one important thing before we close. Everything we share here at Build After 50 is for educational purposes only. It's grounded in research, but it is not a substitute for personalized medical advice. Leg swelling can have many causes, some minor and some not, and only a doctor who knows your history can tell you which one is yours. So before you make any changes to your routine or your medications, and especially if your swelling is sudden, one-sided, or comes with breathlessness, please talk to your doctor. They know your situation better than any video ever could. Here's what I'll leave you with. Your legs work hard for you all day, against gravity, without complaint. Giving them a little attention each evening is simply how you keep them carrying you strong into the years ahead. Take care of your body, take care of your mind, and we'll see you in the next one. This is Build After 50. Keep building.